So I would like to engage in what I would consider to be a cross-cultural, theological, and quantum exploration of the idea of luck and fortune. And luck has a certain allure to it, and I think perhaps on some level we make our own luck, but luck has always been viewed as an invisible, unpredictable force believed to bestow fortune or misfortune, and has fascinated humankind since the beginning of consciousness. From throwing dice in ancient temples to clutching rabbit's feet before life changing decisions, the idea of luck permeates nearly every culture and belief system. Is luck merely chance? Is it a divine blessing? Is it a psychological bias? Or can it be manipulated, generated, or even scientifically explained? This video is going to explore how different cultures define and interact with luck, examine the theological treatment in the world's religions, investigate the role in quantum theory, and ultimately consider whether humans make their own luck through mindset, behavior, metaphysical alignment, and even a relationship with God. So, from Western traditions, we have fortuna and fate. In Western history, particularly in Greco Roman traditions, luck was personified. The Romans worshipped Fortuna, the goddess of fortune and the personification of luck and fate. Fortuna's wheel could spin at random, elevating peasants to kings and toppling emperors without warning. This imagery reinforced the belief that there's an unpredictability to fortune, something outside of our human control. In contrast, the Greeks had Tyche, also a goddess of fortune, but more often linked with city-states and political success. The idea that fate, Moira, and divine will were dominant meant that luck was something given or withheld by the gods, or not necessarily something earned. But as Christianity spread and took hold, luck became increasingly associated with pagan superstition. However, the randomness of fortune persisted in some cultural traditions nonetheless. After the Enlightenment, there was a rise of rationality and statistics, and this chipped away at the idea of random luck. Superstitions like knocking on wood, throwing coins into fountains, and carrying talismans still remain embedded in everyday life. In East Asian traditions, you have karma, and the idea of luck is intertwined with karma, cosmic balance, and feng shui. In Chinese culture, luck is often perceived as a blend of heavenly timing, personal virtue, and environmental alignment. The ancient belief in the mandate of heaven governed whether a ruler had the luck to rule. But this wasn't blind luck. It was thought to be derived from moral integrity, but as well as cosmic harmony. Feng Shui is a Taoist geomantic system which prescribes how to arrange physical space to maximize your positive energy flow, or qi, and therefore luck. In I Ching, or the Book of Changes, this is used not just for divination, but to understand how energies shift and interact, suggesting that luck is dynamic and responsive to human action. In Japanese culture, the concept of enjimono refers to lucky charms, and the Shinto tradition often sees kami, spiritual beings, as the givers of fortune. Japanese culture also integrates the concept of unmei, which is fate or destiny, showing a nuanced dance between luck, karma, and self-effort. From the South Asian viewpoint, you have destiny, karma, and shani. So in Hinduism, luck is often indistinguishable from karma, the principle of cause and effect, spanning lifetimes. What appears to be good or bad luck in this lifetime is often the fruit of actions, karma, committed in prior births. The gods, particularly Lakshmi, the goddess of wealth and fortune, can bestow blessings, but even their grace is tied to merit and devotion. Jyotisha, or Vedic astrology, maps out an individual's birth chart to interpret the planetary influences, especially Shani, which is Saturn, on one's luck, success, or setbacks. In this context, luck is both predetermined and fluid. It can be shifted through rituals, remedies, spiritual growth, and intention. Buddhism, while rooted in similar cosmologies, does take a slightly different stance. Traditional Buddhism emphasizes mindfulness, ethical living, and detachment from outcomes. Luck, if acknowledged at all, is seen as a result of merit, which is punya, and is gained through compassionate and wise actions, not random favor from the universe. Indigenous and African views also should be discussed here. You have ancestral favor and alignment. In many African traditional religions, luck is a result of being in alignment with ancestral spirits, orishas, or nature deities. Good fortune is earned by honoring spiritual obligations, making offerings, and maintaining moral behavior. For example, in Yoruba belief, Orisha Eshu governs the crossroads of fate and can bring luck or chaos, depending on one's respect and alignment. Native American traditions often frame luck not as random, but as an extension of harmony with nature, the Great Spirit, and one's tribal duties. Luck is achieved by living in balance with the earth, spirits, and one's path. From theological and philosophical views of luck, we have in the Abrahamic faiths, you have providence versus chance. Judaism, Christianity, and Islam each contain some tension between the belief in divine providence and the randomness of fortune. In Judaism, divine providence, which is Hashgacha Pratit, suggests God is intimately involved in individual lives, but there's also room for randomness and uncertainty in the unfolding of human fate. The book of Ecclesiastes famously states, "Time and chance happen to them all." Christianity has long debated free will versus predestination. Many theologians argue that nothing is truly luck. God's hand is in all things, whether seen or unseen. Yet saints and peasants alike have relied on lucky charms and invoked saints like Saint Joseph for work or Saint Christopher for travel, which blurs the line between superstition and hardcore faith. In Islam, the concept of Qadir, which is divine decree, teaches that all things happen by the will of Allah. However, human beings are still responsible for their choices, and so while there's no luck per se, believers will often say Inshallah, which is God willing, acknowledging that the outcome is ultimately determined by divine favor. Now, let's go into some philosophical views on luck. And we're going to examine it from the philosophies of Stoicism, existentialism, and self-determination. Stoics like Marcus Aurelius viewed fortune as beyond our control. What mattered was how we responded to it. In this frame, luck is irrelevant because virtue lies in inner mastery and detachment from outcomes. Existentialists such as Sartre argued that luck or destiny is an illusion. What matters is radical freedom and the choices we make. We create our own meaning and therefore our own luck through action. Right? It's like saying we can't control the world, but we can control ourselves and our actions. In New Thought and Law of Attraction traditions, now popularized through authors like Rhonda Byrne, luck is viewed as a vibrational consequence of one's mindset. Positive thoughts attract positive outcomes, implying a metaphysical science behind fortune. The psychology of it, and there's sort of a science to it as well. Psychological studies on lucky people, like Dr. Richard Weissman, who's a British psychologist, and he studied lucky people for over a decade. His findings suggest that lucky people are more open to new experiences, they notice opportunities that others may miss, they have a positive expectancy mindset, and they use intuition and gut feelings. They tend to be more resilient in the face of failure. Wiseman therefore concluded that luck is not purely chance, but it's also a set of habits and perspectives. People who believe they are lucky often act in ways that increase the probability of beneficial outcomes. This supports the phrase, we make our own luck. In chaos theory, and also in terms of probability, luck can be loosely aligned with probability. For example, flipping a coin has a 50% chance of landing heads, but which side it lands on in any single case can be unpredictable. However, over a series of trials, outcomes tend to normalize. Chaos theory tells us that small actions can lead to large unpredictable consequences, known as the butterfly effect, and in this light, luck may be the unforeseen ripple of many small decisions, environment, and unseen forces that are interacting. What about luck in quantum mechanics? Can luck be a form of entanglement? Well, in quantum mechanics, the branch of physics which governs subatomic particles, it presents a radical rethinking of causality as well as determinism. You have the observer effect, which is that at the quantum level, particles exist in multiple states simultaneously until observed, which is known as superposition. And I've talked about that on this channel many times. The observer effect shows that the act of observing changes will actually affect the outcome. If we thought attention would collapse the wave function, could belief or mindset affect reality? Well, this connects curiously with mystic traditions and the law of attraction. Observation, intention, and consciousness may very well have tangible effect on material outcomes. In terms of quantum entanglement, this describes how two particles can become correlated in such a way that the state of one instantly influences the other, regardless of distance. If everything in the universe was once part of a singularity, then perhaps luck is the result of entangled destinies, interactions that ripple out across time and space. Nonetheless, this may be deemed speculative, of course, but it aligns with spiritual views that we are all interconnected somehow, and that a seemingly random event may be part of a larger cosmic order. So, what about making our own luck? In this sense, we have the idea of ritual, mindset, and energy. And so, across traditions, one theme seems to arise again and again. While the world may be unpredictable, humans can influence fortune through ritual, belief, ethics, and action. In terms of rituals and talismans, we have the Hamsa hand in the Middle East to the Maneki-neko, which is the beckoning cat in Japan. Cultures create physical objects believed to ward off bad luck and to invite good fortune. Rituals such as prayers, dances, charms, and blessings are all human strategies to interact with the unknown. Whether or not these actions objectively change reality, they can often change the psychology of the person engaging in them, which then boosts confidence, which then calms anxiety, and which aligns intent with purpose. So, therefore, mindset and energy are some sort of factor here. If mindset affects perception and perception influences behavior, then luck becomes a self fulfilling prophecy. When people believe they are lucky, they are more willing to take risks, they are more resilient after setbacks, and they are more socially magnetic. In Reiki, Qigong, and energy medicine, practitioners believe that spiritual energy flows can be adjusted to change one's luck or outcome, whether by a prayer, healing, or manifestation. These traditions argue that spiritual alignment leads to material blessings. In conclusion, perhaps luck is a mirror of consciousness. And perhaps when we have this desire to have this overall arching solution, it's complicated, right? So it's not just an external force. It may be an illusion, but it's also a mirror of consciousness, which is a fusion of worldview, action, and alignment with the unseen rhythms of life. Different cultures, as we have described, see luck as divine will, karmic return, quantum possibility, ancestral blessing, vibrational resonance, but all agree that it matters. In the end, the saying we make our own luck is not just motivational rhetoric, it reflects a deep truth across psychology, spirituality, and even science. We are co creators of our reality and our fortune. By cultivating awareness, making conscious choices, and aligning ourselves with greater truths than cosmic, karmic, or quantum, we can tap into the subtle architecture of what others call luck. As for me, I believe in the divine, and so therefore I believe luck somehow emanates with and continues through the blessings of God. That no opportunity, no breakthrough, no protection happens unless God wills it to be so. The closer we are to God, the more our hearts are attuned to His will or her will, and the greater our chances of receiving favor. When we earn God's love, we learn the adoration and grace through our devotion and righteous actions, our odds in life improve, not merely by chance, but by holy design. So whether we toss coins into fountains, arrange our homes for better feng shui, or meditate upon divine will, the underlying aim is nonetheless the same, that we want to shift our presence into a field where fortune is no longer chance, but it could be very well a consequence that's shaped by our relationship with the divine. So if we put ourselves in the right mindset and we are grateful to everything God gives us, we can do amazing things. And if I don't see you, just remember, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, and good night. Please don't forget to like, share, and subscribe.